The history of bacteria on the planet goes back 3.5 billion years, and the history of humans on the planet goes back 2.5 million years. So bacteria have been around and learned to survive and thrive a whole lot longer than we have. Are we humans with a whole lot of bacteria, or are we bacteria having a human experience? And when you do the numbers and look at how many messages are being sent out that are guiding and instructing function throughout the body, the latter is a really strong argument that we are the physical manifestation of the housing of all of the bacteria in us.
If we look at the powerhouse of our cells, these little organelles inside of each cell, we have these things called mitochondria. And if you look at where mitochondria came from, they were originally a form of bacteria that somehow we started working with and incorporated in our cells. The difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms, basically the evolutionary leap that allowed us to evolve much more rapidly, was our ability to incorporate this mitochondria and be able to produce a lot more energy, which led to, just greater output. Life started moving faster. This was an early deal, very early deal, in a cellular deal that happened with mitochondria. And these guys, we are now learning, are in intimate communication with the bacteria in our microbiome. There's signaling happening between the mitochondria or the kind of bacterial origins of where we come from in our cells and the bacteria out of our cells. And they're telling our system, produce more energy, conserve energy, there's a danger, there's all sorts of problems. I mean, there's an ancient pathway of bacterial communication.
Debbie says, can you tell me how to get rid of Candida albicans? Well, now that's interesting. I would just take this opportunity with Dr. Pedram to say, what is the relationship of yeast with our microbiome?
They have a very intimate, ancient relationship, and there's a lot of to and fro. And the yeast technically are part of our microbiome. There's bacteria, and then there's yeast. There's all kinds of things in there. These certain bacteria get together, and what they do is they poop out this slick membrane, if you will, this biofilm. And that biofilm then creates an environment where other bacteria or other, fungus gets smothered out. Now, there's a couple strategies. One is, look, you go up, you take, I like botanicals. You can go a lot more aggressive. I mean, you go fluconazole. There's definitely things that you could do to kind of wipe out, fungus. But there are some wonderful botanicals like oregano oil. Obviously you have to have it enterically coated. There's special ways of taking it. If not, it's too much. But you can take the botanicals to bring down the colonies. But if you're still feeding them the sugars, you're going to continue to have a war in your gut. So the strategy really becomes just starve out what they thrive on, which is the sugars, have more fiber, have more vegetables, and start to shift the colony balance over to a healthy, more kind of bacterial-oriented microbiome. And there are, a number of strategies there. I mean, I don't want to give medical advice online. There's, very specific things for very specific, cases here. But in general, starve out what is in overabundance. Take certain botanicals that can bring those down, and then bring up your good friends, right? And then feed your good friends. What you really want to do strategically, feed yourself what your happiest bacteria need to eat. And then those bacteria will make you happy, and you will continue to thrive.